Hi guys, I'm Jonah Nickpon, and this is my Physics 2 Lab 2 analysis. So for the introduction, if you can see this, the purpose of the lab was to create a model showing the charge along a line and to compare these results with the results from Lab 1, which assumed that the piece of tape was just a point charge. The physics principles used were Coulomb's law, which states that the force between two charges is equivalent to 1 over 4 pi epsilon times both of those charges divided by the distance squared. And we also use the E field of a uniformly charged rod. The preliminary results were that we found that the magnitude of the electric force and the magnitude of the gravitational force were equal, and this was about 2.28 to the e to the negative 3 newtons. This system in this scenario is just the two lines of point charges. And the assumptions were that the tape is modeled as a line of charges. The charge is evenly distributed along each of those lines, and we ignored air resistance. So in the experiment, we first defined initial conditions, then found the electric field, then created the positions for each charge, then calculated the electric fields, then calculated the forces, then found the magnitude of the forces. So when we were doing equal conditions, we just substituted the mass that we found by approximation into the program. For the electric fields, this was taken from Lab 0, and this is straight up Coulomb's law, and this was a function that was programmed to find each electric field, and then creating the positions for the charge, we created the line with a spacing across 0.2 meters and with 10 point charges, and we did this for the top tape and the bottom tape. Calculating the electric fields, we did this by using superposition to find the net electric fields and finding the force at the top and the bottom. And then we printed the magnitude of both the electric and gravitational forces. The results were that we got this diagram, which, if you can see here, the green arrow, each of the green arrows are each of the forces on each of the point charges, and then the white is the net force on the top row of point charges, and the yellow is the net force on the bottom row of the point charges. And we see that the white and gold are equal and opposite. And then there's a lot of glare right here. Exactly, we got that the magnitude of the electric force was 2.27 e to the negative 5 newtons, that is. Okay, so for the what if questions, what if we modeled the tape as a point charge? In our first lab, we found that the force on just the point charge was 1.96 times 10 to the negative 3 newtons, and we got in this lab that it was 2.28 times 10 to the negative 3 newtons. And these two differ because in this lab we calculated the net force by superposing all of the forces between each of the point charges, while in the first lab we just assumed that there were two larger, forces acting on each other. And sources of error in this lab are round-off error in the computer, and also the error finding the mass of tape, because we used an extremely loose, approximation. That is all for today, but thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day.